Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host.
Hey guys and gals, this is recording artist Jeff Batson, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio podcasts, on the sportsguyspodcast.com, and at thwn.org.
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass, a busy day full of shows. And always say Halloween means Thanksgiving, means Christmas, means spending more money on our kids and, of course, our friends or family. But you know, we do it because we love them at the same time. And you guys love radio, you love music, so our job is to bring you the best of the best and artists out here. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, thwn.org, and our friends, the Sports Guys, podcast.com, and anytime on iHeartRadio podcast. Brand new record out there, too. We educate you here on the show. It's called Jeff Batson 2025. And guess what? It's out now across all the DSPs out there. Full-length record. Jeff joins us here to talk about it on the Backstage Pass. Jeff, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. How are you?
It's good. You know, education. I always say that, too, because educating the fans out there on great artists and music and a couple of great songs we're going to spend today on the show. Well, let's get started kind of getting to know you a little bit and the backstory of the connection to music. You mentioned to me, obviously, pre-show, you've been doing this a long time. You and I have talked about doing a show for a long time, too, just trying to find the time to put it on the books here, too. But it's kind of cool.
Man, I'm glad to finally get on your show. It's been a while, man. I've been familiar with your show. It's a great podcast. And, I appreciate you having me.
You got it, brother. Hey, tell us about you as far as the backstory, the music and the connection to it, and, you know, who you were listening to kind of growing up, the whole 9 yards. Lay it on us.
Well, man, I grew up in the St. Louis area, Southern Illinois side, and could actually see the arch from the house. But, you know, that was I grew up, my mom and dad listened to country. So my mom's mom, unfortunately, was not very healthy. So we had a 2-hour car ride just about every weekend down to further south in Illinois to the Anna-Dongola area. And what was playing in the car was stuff like John Denver and Merle Haggard and George Jones and Kenny Rogers and Mickey Gilley and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I was first exposed to musically, you know, aside from being in church. I mean, like singing wise, my first experience, like a lot of people, was doing the little Christmas plays at church and singing in the little children's choir and that kind of stuff. But in terms of music, that was kind of the first stuff that I really listened to. And I played saxophone in the grade school and then high school band till I started playing more sports. And then, you know, got into rock and roll in the 80s. That's kind of, you know, I was kind of eclectic, to be honest. I went through a like Elvis phase. I went through a Beach Boys phase where I just, you know, like that stuff. But then the 80s, my cousin's responsible for turning me on to, you know, bringing Toys in the Attic, Aerosmith down and High Infidelity, REO Speedwagon, you know, and kind of got me into that stuff, and kind of ended up taking guitar lessons because he played guitar and he lived right up the street. So kind of ended up in a band with him, you know, doing that. And then, so my taste and love in music is just all over the place, really. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of how it progressed. And then, you know, I went to college at St. Louis U, and then I went away to Denver to get a master's in real estate. And that year in Denver, I graduated in 90, and I came back to St. Louis. I'd left the band I was in with my cousin and friends in 89 when I went to Denver. And when I came back, I mean, 89, 90, what was going on? Country was happening. Yeah. And the country of that little era, that whole class of 89 with Travis Tritt and Alan Jackson and the G-Man, you know, a lot of it sounded a lot more like the 80s rock, because by that time, the rock scene, the whole Seattle thing had taken over, and it didn't interest me as much as the rock that I grew up listening to. And the country was sounding a little more edgier and really a lot more like the stuff I liked, you know. And of course, I always liked stories and just songs about real stuff. So that's kind of, once I got back from school, I ended up getting in some country bands around the St. Louis area. And I did that from 90 to about 97. And, you know how it is. Everybody's like, oh, you ought to move to Nashville. So, well, I'd won a couple contests and all that good stuff, like everybody back home in their hometowns. And so I did. I'm like, I'll move to Nashville. So in 97, I came here and really started concentrating more on writing than playing. Because up there, I had a job, but I was still playing really sometimes 5, 6, 7 nights a week. But that's what got me here. Everybody, saying, songwriting wise, I really didn't start writing songs until I was in Denver, and more like in my 20s. I didn't really dabble with writing, but I was out there alone and had taken a guitar and started just, and so that, really didn't start writing songs until then. But then when I got back to St. Louis, and then especially when I moved to Nashville, when I first came here, I was writing quite a bit, and was fortunate enough to meet and network with a lot of people. I've been fortunate enough to write with many guys that have had hit songs. So, it really is, it's a craft. And so I came here and, you kind of learn where the bar is and you aim for the bar. So.
Isn't that the cool point though? You mentioned about everybody, they utter those words and you're like, yep, I got to go. I got the the hook, the bait, and throw it out there too. And then caught the fish and then bring it into, no doubt about it. But when you get there, for you, was it kind of like that took 6 months, a year to kind of settle in? Was it deer in the headlights look, or you're like, man, I get here, I got this, get to know the right people, and I kind of expose, like you said, it's a high bar, can expose my music, my writing, what I'm looking for. How was it for you when you first got there?
Brandon, honestly, I don't want to say smart. I was smart enough to know it was a business. And so I had actually started making trips to Nashville before I actually moved here in 97, probably the early 90s, 92, 3. I had done some shows with the local radio stations. So, and I learned what the radio seminar was, and I learned what CMA Fest was. And back then they even had a SRO show, which was like talent buyers. Mm-hmm. So these acts, I started coming down here to some industry events and the St. Louis radio stations, both of them, Kicks in particular was the station that helped me meet a lot of people, and WIL did as well. Those guys, they all would come down here and let me hang out and, get me in some things. So I got to meet a lot of people and learn a lot about the business. Cause it's really like doing anything. If I'm going to sell shoes, I'm going to know about the shoes. And so the music business is no different. When I wanted to learn everything I could, I bought books about the music business. The Music Row magazine In Charge issue was kind of like the Bible because it has everybody's picture. So if I'm here and I'm walking around town, I'll be like, oh, look, that's so-and-so. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the glass wall because you're sitting next to Tony Brown, but you can't really, you don't want to reach across that. It's like you don't want to ruin that relationship because it's a small enough town where if you're going to be like Gurmy, you're going to close doors quicker than they're going to open, so you have to learn when to talk shop and when not to, that kind of thing. But I had been coming here enough and knew enough people, and I'd even met some songwriters. So when I moved here, I kind of just dove right in and started doing that, fortunately, I'd set myself up with a day job that was flexible, and I knew I wasn't going to go hungry, So I kind of just transitioned pretty easily, and it didn't take months. Now the other side of that is, they say used to say it's a 5-year town, and then you hear 10 years, and then it's 20. But I moved here, and really within a couple years. There was an artist on Curb Records at the time named Trenny Triggs. He was a black artist, and Curb was putting out singles on him. They didn't put out a full project, but he cut a song I co-wrote with Tom Shepard, who's he's a hit songwriter friend of mine. He's had a couple hits with Redneck Yacht Club and Riding with Private Malone. But Tom and I wrote this song Getaway Car, and they picked it. It was supposed to be Trenny Triggs' next single. I went down to and Tom wrote for Charlie Monk, who was known as the mayor of Music Row. So Charlie and I were friends, and I met, a lot of people through that little connection. But Charlie was hosting the Riverfront stage at the CMA Fest, and hey, look, there's your next star. There's your next interview.
That's the next one too. You got to go there. I'm doing so. You got to go. Bye. Go. Now I want to get a little bit, and we'll play some music here in a little bit, and talk about that. But it's a hell of a story too, because you're right. When you go to that town, you got to know when to speak, when not to speak, and then when to listen and turn it on and kind of act like a sponge. That's just one of those things, even in my industry too, because you make some good points about that. But I'm gonna come back and kind of build on that conversation too. But I got to play one.
Yeah, I want to tell you that Charlie Monk, that story.
Yeah, tell me about that story. I want to hear that Charlie Monk story too. Jeff Batson, 2025 here, the Backstage Pass. Somebody coming right back here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stay tuned. More coming up.
You can spend your whole life waiting and only hear the inner doubts, or make the hopelessness start fading and pick yourself up off the ground. We all need a little sunshine with our rain, someone to wash all of the loneliness away, another heart that can find its way into another's arms where it will stay and never leave. Everyone wants to be somebody. Love can show in many places, even when you least expect, and in unfamiliar faces, you'll find some you won't forget. We all need a little sunshine with our rain, someone to wash all of the loneliness away, another heart that can find its way into another's arms where it will stay and never leave. Everyone wants to be somebody. Colder nights, darker skies, and the pain behind your eyes tell a tale as old as time. Come what will, come what may, all the storms of yesterday will subside and fade away. With our rain, someone to wash all of the loneliness away, another heart that can find its way into another's arms where it will stay and never leave. Everyone wants to be somebody.
Hey, y'all, this is Bucky Hurd with the Righteous Brothers, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. You can also stream the show on thwn.org and anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com.
At JK Subaru, we love our cars.
And we love our customers.
We believe in being a positive force
in our community by being involved and giving back.
Respecting your time every time.
Our promise is a brighter future.
We all do our part to keep our promise to you.
At JK Subaru, we are more than just selling cars.
We are your neighbors, friends, and even family.
More than a car dealer, our people make the difference. JK Subaru at the airport.
What's up, guys? It's Nashville recording artist Clayton Mullen, and you're listening to the best music and sports talk. It's Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Stream the show at any time at thesportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcasts. You can also stream on thwn.org.
Are you looking to increase your online presence? Are you searching for a new logo or company branding? Have you been considering more ways to reach the world with your business, ministry, or church's message? Barkley Music and Media is an award-winning design company that utilizes the latest technology while keeping the integrity of over 30 years of customer service. Web design, graphic design, multimedia, video editing, voiceovers, commercials, logo design and branding, photography, and much, much more. See portfolios and testimonials online at www.barkleymusicandmedia.com or contact them today at 502-382-8299. Barkley Music and Media, your connection for the best in multimedia. Call today, 502-382-8299, or go to www.barkleymusicandmedia.com. Barkley Music and Media, integrity, technology, and design. www.barkleymusicandmedia.com.
Hey y'all, this is two-time Guinness World Record-setting rapper Theo Gibson, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. You can also stream the show anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org. Oh yeah.
The Caden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thecadengordonshow.com. Again, that is thecadengordonshow.com.
Hey guys and gals, this is Colby Calais, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Stream the show anytime on thesportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcasts. It's a grand slam of music, entertainment, and sports.
Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
And back here on the show, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, and the Sports Guys podcast.com out there. Grand Slam of music, sports, entertainment, and of course our friends, iHeartRadio podcasts, and out there anytime, thwn.org. Back here, Jeff Batson, 2025 on the show. The new record, of course, out there across all the DSPs, 10 songs for you guys to listen to. Before I build on that Charlie Monk story, which I can't wait to hear the end of it too. Like I said, always, the next superstar is in the other room too. She's already taken a little bit of the tutelage from me, and
understanding start them young, man.
Is all about. You got to start them young. You have to. Yes, they make it's like a cameo appearance. It's what it felt like, so, which is there. Tell us a little bit about the record. Of course, excited to get the project, new selection of songs to all the listeners out there, and this one in particular, Somebody's Somebody.
Somebody's one of those songs. Like I had kind of, with writing, it kind of ebbs and flows. I get excited about it, and then after almost 30 years in town, you get not so excited about it. But every once in a while, I'll see somebody that I'm like, man, that person has talent. I wouldn't mind writing with them. So I was at the Commodore. The Commodore is one of those songwriters venues in town. Debbie Champions hosts most of the nights there, and I saw this kid named Caleb Lake, and I'm like, man, he's really good, really unique. And so just as it turned out, and I thought he was really talented, and he's just a sweetheart of a guy. He's a good kid. And I'm like, let's get together and write. And so we did, and we came up with Somebody. He was talking about relationships, and I think his brother's relationship at the time. And it's like, everybody wants to be somebody. And we kind of just took off from there. And it's kind of true. I mean, I've got a song on an early album called Everybody Wants to Be Loved, but I mean, we're really created, I think, to be, have a companionship and be amongst people. And I think everybody does want to be somebody. So that's kind of where the idea for the song came from, that one.
Loved it too, and a great body of work on this record too. A lot of cool songs out there that really kind of speak from the heart too. But I want to finish that Charlie Monk story. You write, you the mayor of Music Row. Tell us about that too. That's the fun. That's got to be fun in that, right?
Oh man, well, it was so fun to meet him because Tom was writing for him at the time, so I got to go over there quite a bit. But I mentioned that an artist named Trini Triggs that was on a curb, which is, I guess, a major independent, not technically still independent, but a major independent. They had McGraw and Winona, back in the day, and so Mike Curb had picked this song to be his next single, because they were putting singles out at the time before they would test the waters with the singles and, until something stuck, and then they'd put out a full project. But so Mike Curb had picked this song to be a single. Charlie's hosting the Riverfront stage down at CMA Fest. And he knew I was there. I was down in the front, and he points me out for all these, here's one of the co-writers of Trini's next single. And so I'm thinking, man, I've been here a couple years, 5-year town. 10 years? What are they talking about? This is easy. So anyway, long story short, Herb Graham, who was one of his managers, Graham owned all the Graham Central stations. He was the money guy. And so he just passed away. So rest in peace, Herb. But he decided he didn't want that to be the single. And instead they put out a cover of a Chuck Berry song, C'est la vie, say the old folks. They put that out instead. And, that song never saw the light of day. But, and then, so it's a long time before anything else happened for me. But I thought, man, this is easy. This is easy. And Charlie, we developed a great friendship, and rest in peace, Charlie. He was quite the character. You either loved him or hated him. He was definitely of the opinion that songwriters shouldn't be in the publishing business. They should have a publisher. And I was kind of, I had a different thought process when it came to that. So I can't say we never had a few words, but Charlie was Charlie, and I loved him.
Isn't that the beautiful thing that, as far as the town goes, what I love about it is you mentioned so many eclectic people, so many great people that have great ideas for the writing of songs that, never want to take the credit of like the higher gratitude. They just want to write the song, have somebody record it. It takes a special person, Jeff, to do that. Like to really put your name on the line, put your name behind something you believe in. Then it gets attached to an artist. The artist, can do the whole claim to fame thing too. But you hear it more and more now in the major award shows that when they go up there in front of the mic and they're thanking the team, they're also thanking the songwriters too, because without the songwriters, there would be no music, right?
Well, that's absolutely. I mean, what is the NSI, the Songwriters Association International? Yeah. It all begins with a song, starts with a song, and it really does. But and it's really cool that these artists are doing that now, because a lot of people, especially years ago, that weren't educated about the music, but they thought whoever sang the song wrote the song. Nobody ever thought George Strait, they thought, hey, these are George Strait songs and he wrote them all. And, they don't, they're ignorant to the fact that, hey, no, there's this whole other world of people that are creating the majority of these songs, because, it changed. Now a lot of the artists try to write their own songs, and that's a business economic for those reasons. But, when artists used to make their money from sales, record sales and CD sales and all that, that in those days, they didn't have to, when that disappeared, that income stream, they started wanting to tap into, the publishing and co-writing. So a lot of artists, try to write their own stuff, especially a lot of the newer artists, almost all of them. And it's because there's not, they don't sell product anymore, really. And the streaming doesn't pay songwriters, hardly. It's a pittance. It's pennies on the fractions of pennies, Yeah. So that's, but yeah, so I'm really, really thankful that these artists, especially, are, making sure they thank the songwriters.
I'm always going to do it here on the show. Thanks to Jeff Batson's out there too, and all the great songwriters that do their thing out there, because without that, again, and it's kind of a disgrace. You mentioned some of the streaming services and what they pay out there for the pennies on the dollar. And I'm not afraid to say that too, because it should be paid more than the songwriters should. Yeah, they should.
It's probably the same for podcasts. I mean, it's probably they're the ones streaming those too. It's like I'm sure, I just hope someday it becomes more equitable. And the pie's big, and but unfortunately, the piece of the pie that we get is like may not even. It's more like crumbs. It's not really even a piece.
Yeah, the crumbs is the best way to describe that too. Tell you what, I love this song from Jeff Batson here on the Backstage Pass. Make sure you guys go check it out across all the DSPs. You'll see the music video if you're watching the website video, or if you're hearing it in your car through the affiliates, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and our friends, the Sports Guys, podcast.com, iHeartRadio podcast, and our friends at Tar Heel, THWN.org, in 27 countries worldwide. Don't call me a hero. You'll get the gist of this one from Jeff Batson here on the Backstage Pass. More to come. Stay tuned.
I'm a family man with family ties, a regular Joe with an angel for a wife. I play catch in the yard with my son. I'm praying my little girl turns out just like her mom. I count my blessings each and every day, knowing one alarm could take me away. But I do what I love to do. It's not a case of having to. I know the risk and I'd pay the price. It's not a job, it's my life. So if I say goodbye, climbing that ladder to the sky, don't cry. And don't call me a hero. 'Cause inside I'm still that little boy in a big red hat with a fire truck Tonka toy. I'd race through town as the siren screamed. With flashing lights, I'd pull up to the scene, knock down a door and run through the smoky dark, then reappear with a baby in my arms. I do what I love to do. It's not a case of having to. I know the risk and I'd pay the price. It's not a job, it's my life. So if I say goodbye, climbing that ladder to the sky, don't cry. And don't call me a hero. Don't call me a hero.
When I'm called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert, to hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my neighbor and protect his property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, bless with your protecting hand my children and my wife.
I get to do what I love to do. So it's not a case of having to. I know the risk and I pay the price. It's not a job, it's my life. So if I say goodbye, climbing that ladder to the sky, don't cry. And don't call me a hero. If I ever wave goodbye from that ladder in the sky, don't cry. Don't call me a hero.
Hey y'all, this is Chandler Marie, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. You can listen to on thwn.org and on iHeartRadio podcasts and anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com.
Is your home or business in need of a fresh look? Right Flow Pressure Washing and Lawn LLC is more than just pressure washing, providing professional cleaning for homes, commercial buildings, parking lots, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, and so much more, including lawn service and landscaping. Our mission here at Right Flow is to exceed the needs of all our customers while providing all of our services at an affordable rate. We're committed to going above and beyond where the job is done right. Give your property the care it deserves. Call Right Flow today at 409-363-2565 or go to rightflowwashandlawn.com.
Hey y'all, this is Ashlyn Kraft, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. You can also listen on iHeartRadio podcasts and at thesportsguyspodcast.com.
The Kate Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thekatengordonshow.com. Again, that is thekatengordonshow.com.
Hey guys and gals, this is recording artist Peyton Porter, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Stream the show anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcasts and on thwn.org.
Elevate your next event with Backstage Pass DJ, MC, and announcer services, where unforgettable moments take center stage. We specialize in bringing energy and excitement to a wide range of occasions, including weddings, birthdays, corporate events, school dances, graduations, family reunions, class reunions, anniversaries, engagement parties, bar and bat mitzvahs, office parties, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, conferences, and more. No matter the venue, whether it's a banquet hall, ballroom, conference, or convention center, concert hall, outdoor venue, office, community center, barn, or any location of your choosing, our team ensures seamless entertainment tailored to your needs. Let Backstage Pass create the perfect vibe, keep your guests engaged, and turn your celebration into a lasting memory. Book your event with Brandon Morrell and Backstage Pass today. Go now to thesportsguyspodcast.com and enhance your next event with Backstage Pass.
Hey y'all, this is Paul and Hannah McClure of Bethel Music.
Yeah, and you're listening to the Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, and on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org and anytime on iHeartRadio podcasts.
Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
And back here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network, and our friends out there, the Sports Guys podcast.com, a grand slam. Music, sports, entertainment out there too. And of course, anytime out there, thwn.org. And of course, iHeartRadio podcast shows going up there daily. Back here, Jeff Batson on the program. Man, you just write songs. You mentioned how we've talked about that. We've dived into it enough too, but none better than this as far as, what somebody's calling is. I know for me, it was a radio show. For you, musician, real estate, a little bit of everything. When you have a talent, you show it off. And man, one like Don't Call Me a Hero, it just hits home for people. It's just a really good song, and it just spreads a great message. You're right, man. Tell us all about this idea and how this came together.
Well, it's an interesting story with that. I guess my songs are kind of topical. I won't say they're all story songs, but there's topics. And I'll make a long story short. So when I was living in Nashville, I get a cold call, some guy from New England trying to sell me gold coins. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to scrape by. I don't have money to buy gold coins. I'm a songwriter, So this guy's like, oh, I was on the radio in Boston for a while. So he's selling coins. He was on the radio. And so he's like, I'd love to hear some of your music. So I sent him a bunch of music, and we developed a friendship from that cold call, because I could talk to a Pole, so we just became friends, and there was a furniture store fire in 2007, Charleston, South Carolina. Nine firefighters perished, and it's called they're known as the Charleston Nine. Well, from hearing my songs, and thank you for the compliment, by the way, but from hearing my songs, this guy kind of knew that I kind of could hear what kind of songs, the heartfelt kind of thing. And he called me and he said, Jeff, you need to write a song, like a firefighter's tribute song. And so this, I kind of, that idea stuck in my head, and I'm like, and then he wanted me to talk to another friend of his named Joey Stan. Joey Stan's from New Jersey. Gary's from Boston area. And Joey Stan's from Jersey, played saxophone in a band called Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. And he played with Gary U.S. Bonds. And so I got to talking to Joey and about, because at that time, Gary U.S. Bonds was playing a lot of these firefighter tribute things, where the volunteer firemen call around and try to raise money and sell you tickets to the show. And he said, man, from talking to all these firefighters at these shows, it's like, man, they don't want to be known. They don't feel like heroes. And so I'm like, Bing, don't call me a hero. And so, I included both those guys as co-writers on the song, because I wouldn't have had the song if it weren't for Gary, and I wouldn't have had the title without Joey. And so I don't know. I just kind of came up with that. Sometimes, Brandon, I feel like I'm the vessel. I'm a Christian person. I just feel like I'm gifted with some things that I need to get out and tell. And so that's one of those songs that just kind of, it took a little while. Sometimes songs come quick, and sometimes it's like, it has to like get up in here and like it's on the stove. But that one took a little bit, and then we had the idea to add the Firefighters Creed, and that's Gary, one of the guy who's responsible for me even writing the song, doing the recitation in that. Some other friends have recorded the song, and it's actually my most popular song online or on, out there. So I have like millions of, I haven't been lucky enough to go viral, but it's on a ton of Spotify playlists, like first responders and that kind of thing. It's been used in firefighter funerals and a lot of firefighter events. I've had messages from the Philippines and Ireland and Canada, all over the globe. It seems to resonate with people. So
it has, with a few of my friends too, who actually, took on that just very brave career and just you're right. I mean, I won't say heroes, but they know who they are out there too. And of course, military and first responders and people like that too, because you don't do that for the money. You do that because that's your calling and that's what you're destined to do too. And, you mentioned being Christian, faith is everything out there too. And just people that do that type of work out there, again, I salute them and my hat's off to them too, because that's one of the most underpaid jobs out there, and it is not easy, no doubt.
No, and I mean, and like you said, all the first responders and police, fire, everybody, paramedics. I mean, and the firefighters, man, they're running towards the danger. Like policemen too. It's like they're not like backtracking. They're like, it's a lot of times a thankless situation.
Yeah, no doubt. It is a thankless situation. It is. I got to talk about this one, a couple more off the record that really definitely, boy, one hits home, no doubt, too. God knows better. We're talking about our faith and how much we believe in it. Timing is everything. And, man, what a 3 words to put in a tune, right? I love it.
Yeah, well, man, I wrote that with Brandon Maddox and Dan Rivers, and we just got together. And, I think everybody knows somebody going through fighting something, whether it's cancer or something else. I have my best high school friend and best friend to this day, his wife is going through one of these battles right now. So I get choked up even talking about it. But that song took on new meaning when she got diagnosed, and, we have to have faith. We have to have faith. And I still believe in miracles. And, I'm not the Bible thumping, going to hit you over the head with it, but I'm not afraid to tell you how I believe and what I think. And you're welcome. That's the beauty of this country. You're welcome to believe and feel like you do. But I mean, that song's like, it's I believe every word of that song. It's like, you know, it's already in the cards. It's like we can only do so much, and you know, sometimes things work out like we want them to, and sometimes they don't. But I'm a person that believes in, you know, in faith, and you know, I'm not ashamed of it. You know, it's one of those things where, man, I still feel like one of these days I'm going to be a big, huge hit songwriter, and you know, and I'm convinced that's in the cards, and you know, I'm faithful, and you know, timing. We all wish we could like work on the timing, and things happened in our time, but unfortunately, in my world, that's not how that works. It's, you know, but that song, thanks. That's one of those deals, you know, and hopefully it resonates with people like it did you.
Yeah, it does, and I love it. And again, God Knew Better, the correct title of the song out there too. Make sure you guys check it out on his current album too. And I'll say this: God knows better. He knew better. We all figure it out at some point too. Because I can tell you this: I had that Christian group on a few weeks back. A few members of the Christian group, Bethel Music, it was Paul and Hannah McClure, had joined us here to promote some new projects. And man, we talked about that for a good hour about just God having that plan and never on our watch, never as fast as we want it, and same thing with radio and podcasts. The same thing. I've been lucky enough to have a great ride. By no means am I done, but at the same time, our Almighty knows us better than we know ourselves. And so, yeah, I feel like sometimes it's actually one of your songs on the record too that I want to talk about. A whole lot of nothing. I feel like sometimes in doing this radio show, that is my phrase, and I speak on behalf of that. Please tell us how that tune came together.
Well, got together with actually cowboy singer, Terry Brown. He and his wife Hilda, they're both cow horse people. And, you know, we just got to, he's still out in California, I think now, singing. We just got together and started talking about how, man, sometimes just need a break, need to just do nothing. And so that's really, you know, it's kind of how that came about, just trying to write something fun. We weren't trying to necessarily go for a Buffett or Kenny Chesney kind of thing. But I mean, you know, nowadays when people talk about the beachy songs, that's kind of, you know, Buffett always came up. And then, you know, Kenny, I mean, who's not a fan of that kind of really music, kind of fun, just makes you want to head to the ocean, you know, plop down in the sand and order a cocktail. So that's just a fun one. Hopefully just, you know, lighthearted. The record, hopefully it's got a little bit of everything for, you know, it's, I'm proud of it. I've had a couple of the tunes on there that have gone on the little EACM, the Euro Academy of Country Music chart, gone number one, Into the Grains and Come On Sunshine. And, you know, there's hopefully, like I say, I mean, there's a song called Tomboy that's fun, another fun song, kind of lighthearted, but then God Knew Better. And then there's a song on there called Trying to Get to Heaven that are, you know, a little more on the poignant side. Have a love ballad on there. It's About Us. I wrote with Todd Pache. So, you know, that it was cool. One of actually Into the Grains, the one song, the lead off song on that record, I wrote with a firefighter from Massachusetts, Stoneham. He lives in Stoneham, and I met him because of Don't Call Me a Hero, because Gary, the guy from Boston that I wrote it with, ran into John at a drugstore.
Wow.
And he got to talking about that song, and John had heard it. So, you know, I've actually made a lot of friends, through music, but a lot of friends in New England from that song in particular, that Don't Call Me a Hero. But that led to the co-writing the title track with John Sarabian. You know, that's the lead off song on the record. And then the second song, track 2, is a song called Come On Sunshine, I actually co-wrote with a guy named Aaron Ratieri. I kind of lost track of, and everybody around town kept going, you need to look him up. And so I started doing some research, because that song was a few years old. And Aaron has since won a Grammy. Lady Gaga did a song he co-wrote in the Stars Born remake, and he just had a number one with the Ella Langley, Riley Green, You Look Like You Love Me. He co-wrote that. So, you know, that's just a fun song. That song was written on a week where it rained every day here. that's become like one of the favorites at the Commodore when I do that, and everybody wants to sing along. So it's kind of cool, you know. But you know, as a songwriter, yeah, I still hope to have one of these songs maybe recorded by a huge artist and take it to the top of the chart. You know, that would be ideal. Oh, ideal would be me going to the top of the chart, but you know, I'm also realistic.
I was going to say, or Jeff Batson going to the top of the chart with a few of these songs too out there too, because it's authentic, genuine music. Love it to its core, and definitely tells a lot of great stories. There's something on this record for everybody out there too. All right, hey, we'll finish with this one too, and you know I'm going to have you back here on the show, man, because I love the way you speak about near and dear and close to you and to your heart. As far as downtime, I know for me, it's got like the balance between work life and like family life for me. So looking back at it, it's hard to find it, but when you do, it's like you don't want to kind of just run off into it. But when you get the chance to have that downtime, because we're such workaholics out there, that when I do get it, I'm like, thank God I took it when I have that time, because we all need that balance. For you, what is it, and kind of what, you know, floats your boat when it comes to downtime? What do you like doing?
Man, I like to watch sports, to be honest. I'm not saying it because you're sponsored by us. I'm a sports freak, you know. I mean, not really a gambler, but I love to watch sports, you know, and I love, of course, growing up, I did baseball, football, and basketball. So now soccer's gotten huge. You know, I don't know enough about that. And hockey as well. Those two sports I don't know as much about, but baseball, football, and, you know, basketball, love. And, you know, I grew up near St. Louis, and I went to St. Louis U private school. I went to University of Denver private school. So no football. No, they didn't have football teams, but you moved to Nashville in the South, man, you get down here and you got to like college football. It's like, this is SEC country, and go Vanderbilt. How about that this year?
I'm surprised so far too, which is great for Vandy too, to be ranked inside the top 20, which is amazing. And kudos to them, man. At some point you knew that program was going to take off, and just had some great athletes to put out there. Well coached too. Well coached.
Yes, Clark Lee. Yes, great coach. But they're in the top. They're in the top 10 now for the first time.
That's right. That's right. The new ones came out. Yeah. So
1950. I don't know, something crazy.
Something crazy. Yes, I remember that too. You're right about that.
It's kind of exciting because, man, I mean, I root for the underdog sometimes, you know. But you move to the South, you got to love. So that's what I love to watch sports in my downtime. Really,
I do too. Love it so much. Hey, give me a prediction on this World Series. My second team is in it. Toronto Blue Jays. Just love it up there too. And of course, the mighty big bank payroll Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm getting tired of seeing in it, kind of like I was the Chiefs for a lot of years too, just winning 3 out of 5 in these dynasties in sports, looking back at it. But I'm actually going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say the Jays in 7. So there's the upset prediction.
Wow.
Yes, the Jays in 7. Yes.
Man, I don't know as much about the Jays as I do the Dodgers. And you know, the Dodgers played they had some great series with the Cardinals. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers in 5.
Oof. Okay. All right. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
But so Rawlings, I have a Rawlings baseball glove, and I've growing up it was Fernando Valenzuela. So that's why I'm going Dodgers. I still have my Rawlings glove, Fernando, where he just passed away too, I believe. So there's my prediction and my odd reasoning.
Fernando Mania, no doubt. May God rest his soul. And I tell you, you know what? Again, I just that's probably thinking more heart than head when I did that. But at the same time, I think that look, Houston Astros have ruined me over the last 10 years with 4 pennants and a couple of titles. Almost had 3. We got 2, and my buddy was calling me from Canada the other night when they clinched. Hey, it's 32 years last time he saw a championship. He's in his 50s now, and he goes, man, I remember Joe Carter, the walk-off, you'll never hit a bigger home run, that kind of thing. And 92, 93, the first 2 pennants, and then waiting 32 years for the 3rd pennant of the franchise.
Man, I missed the Cardinals when the Cardinals and the Astros were in the same division. I loved that rivalry. It was a good one, man. I'm showing my age, but so it's weird for me to think of the Astros and where they're at. It's like
it's a crazy thing to think we didn't make the playoffs and missed it by 1 game.
Man, I told you I'm from St. Louis, so I mean I'm in the same boat. we've not been good the last few years, and we're not used to that. I mean, next to the Yankees, we have the most pennants of anybody, you know. So it's been a tough little run. Maybe not 30-something years, but it's still been a tough run the last few.
It's a tough. Well, since those Pujols days, and I'll tell you this: Albert Pujols is going to get him a managerial job. I think the Angels did not make the hire they wanted to make come to contract negotiations, but I will say that Pujols is going to make one hell of a manager one day too. And I've said it many times on the sports shows. I'm able to put out there too. But I love this record. It is got something for everybody on there too, and so good to connect. Jeff Batson, 2025. Make sure you guys check it out across all the DSPs and wherever you stream out there. And a songwriter's dream can come true, and it will come true too. And I always say, convinced that when you got the talent, show it off to everybody out there too at the same time, and keep believing. No doubt, all these great songs are available for you guys to stream out there too. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and the Sports Guys podcast.com, thwn.org, and of course, iHeartRadio podcast. Jeff, we appreciate the time here on the show. Good to connect. And my friend, hey, continued success going forward. And means a lot to meet someone as authentic as you, no doubt.
Well, man, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time to have me on and making it today. So thank you. Appreciate
you got
it.
One the only Jeff Batson here on the Backstage Pass. Back with more great shows coming up over the next few weeks there, and your favorite artist may be coming by. You never know. Take care. God bless. We will see you soon from all of us here at the Backstage Pass.
Hey y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Raina Roberts, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and on iHeartRadio podcast, and anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com. You can also stream on thwn.org.